Hi, and welcome back to our conversation about the 5 steps for you to use to focus on your game changing actions. Step number 4, I have said several times now, is my favorite step. And it doesn't take a lot of conversation, but it does take some explanation of why I have included that step, that topic, in this how-to guide for getting to your actions. The general answer to the question why is don't waste time doing what step number 4 talks about. So let me get into this a little bit more. Step number 4, as you know, is to opt out of drama and label making. And this is not kind of some preachy, holier than thou perspective. This is just plain old reality. It's something that we can all sort of get sucked into unintentionally. People are herd animals. We all want to be part of the group. And separately, our society values each of us having opinions, speaking up on things, especially folks like you and I who are educated, intelligent, always learning, always questioning. We have opinions, right? We have reasons to have opinions. Here's the thing. We each can waste a lot of time and precious energy forming opinions on things that it doesn't matter that we have an opinion on them. Because what happens right after we make a value judgment, for example, is we now feel compelled to defend that. And what happens right after we make a value judgment, listen to this part carefully. What happens right after we each make a value judgment is we stop taking in information to the contrary. Once I got this, I couldn't unsee it. Once I got how often I was using labels like good and bad, right and wrong, fabulous, not fabulous, once I realized that I was feeling this unnecessary burden, this unnecessary requirement to use an adjective to describe everything. Once I realized that, I was amazed at how often I was doing it. And once I became sensitive to the fact that I was even doing this, I was staggered by how much time it was taken. A couple moments here, a couple moments there. Little bits in big numbers add up to a big number, right? Once I realized then how closed that was making me, I had to opt out of this practice as soon as possible. Do you have an awareness of how often you use an adjective versus just the facts? Even something silly like saying, hey, I really enjoyed that book I just read. That's your personal experience. Awesome. Versus, that's a wonderful book. Now you're going to have to defend the wonderfulness of that book to anyone with an opposing view. Skip that part. Just simply share your experience that you enjoyed the book. Always coupled with labeling is drama. It just sucks the life out of so many people inadvertently. Do you have a strong desire to commune, to bond with people by stirring the pot? Do you find that you're often discussing the behavior or the events of somebody other than the one you're speaking with? That's gossip. And again, it robs you of precious energy and it robs you of time that does not serve your small set of 1, 2, or 3 key priorities. So let's agree that opting out of drama and labels is going to free up so much time and mental energy for you to pursue those things you've already identified as being needle movers in your life. It's really hard to change these habits. What I strongly recommend that you do is ask a friend to help you with this. This can really be powerful in 2 ways. Number 1, you have somebody that is helping you hear when you use labels in conversation. It's a habit. We need some outside stimulus to help us break it. Here's what I did. One of my friends really was a label maker and a gossip. Loved her dearly, so many other strengths, but she spent a lot of time on these 2 ill-conceived practices. I shared with her my idea of my desire to stop spending time and energy on this. And rather than make her wrong, I wasn't monitoring her activity, I was monitoring my own. So I asked for her help if ever she heard me use an adjective to describe something unnecessarily. I asked for her to help me stay out of these gossip type conversations. It did 2 things. Number 1, she actually was really good at pointing out my behavior to me. And secondly, it put her on notice that I was not interested in joining in that with her. Did she change her behavior? You know what? I don't even know. It's not for me to monitor, or it's not for me to decide, right? I just know that she was then able to help me disengage. She was able to help me come up with an awareness. And if she was gossiping, she now wasn't doing it with me, which is what I wanted in the end. So put on notice that you're just not going to play this game. Tell yourself that too. Don't get into harsh judgment of yourself. Just when you hear it, just simply laugh and say, gotcha, there you go again. We're not going to do that anymore because that doesn't serve us now. This is a win-win for you, for your energy, and I think you're going to find, like I did, that it's amazing how much time you may be currently spending on this. So good for you for choosing to opt out of the game. Good for you for putting your focus on your game-changing actions. Tomorrow we will have a brief conversation about step 5, and I'll wrap up with you what's your next move. I recommend your next move to be. So give some thoughtful introspection, play with this, hear how often you may be using labels and drama to distract yourself. As always, I wish for you to live joyfully and go out there and be awesome. Talk soon.